Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of All at Once. I am your host, Alexis Christine. If you are a new listener, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. And if you are a returning listener, welcome back. I'm so happy to have you here. Today, I'm going to be talking to you guys about spiritual rituals and protocols and just ways to keep yourself grounded and feeling sane in this world that we are currently living in. Because keeping ourselves mentally okay is one of the biggest, most important things we can do. So if you are feeling ungrounded, if you are having struggles with self-discipline, if you are feeling spiritually disconnected or just disconnected from the world around you in general, this is going to be the episode for you. If you are falling off track with your personal journey or you're struggling to keep up with your spiritual rituals and practices, or when you do your self-care, it's a reactive self-care instead of a proactive self-care. So meaning something has to happen before you're doing the self-care. You're not actually giving yourself that self-care time because you deserve it, not because you need it. This is also going to be the episode for you. We're going to get into the importance of having a spiritual practice, your spiritual rituals, how to keep yourself grounded, how to work with the different energies around you, and find a ritual, a practice, or just different exercises that feel good to you, that keep you feeling connected to yourself, that keep you feeling mentally stable, that keep your nervous system calm and soothed, essentially, that are doable on an everyday basis, so that aren't going to overwhelm you and that actually will fit into your schedule in a way that feels like it's doable and not that it's going to overwhelm you, take up a bunch of your time or anything like that. Because when you don't have a spiritual ritual or foundation, it is so hard to stay grounded. It is so hard to stay connected to yourself. It is so hard to keep your boundaries up and to make sure that you're giving enough time to yourself and putting yourself first, right? When we don't have that foundation within ourselves of self-trust to know that if we make ourselves a promise that we will actually follow through, or making sure that we actually treat ourselves in a way that keeps us feeling safe and keeps us feeling keeps us feeling whole, then we have nothing to stand on. We have no accountability towards ourselves. We have no self-trust with ourselves, and our nervous system starts to feel unsafe because even within our own body, we're not treating ourselves the right way. We're not putting ourselves first. So there is no safe place for us. A lot of us only engage in these self-care practices when we get to the point that we need it. And I'm guilty of this too. This is no finger pointing. Like, a lot of the health stuff that I went through recently was because I was not putting myself first. I was not doing any self-care. I was not doing any nervous system regulation. And we get to the point where our body starts to break down, our mind starts to break down because we're not giving it to ourselves, right? And so when we get on this train of doing this proactive self-care, keeping us in a calm state, keeping us in a place where our body does feel safe, where we are connected to ourselves, where we're connected to our spirituality, where all of these things are constantly in a good place, then we don't need to get to the place where we do reactive self-care, where we're breaking down or where something happens or we're like, oh my God, I need a night off. Oh my God, I need to do this. Like, we can just actually stay in a really good place. It's like maintenance, you guys. It's like a spiritual, physical, energetic maintenance on ourselves. You don't want to just clean something when it gets so dirty to the point where it's disgusting. You want maintenance. You clean your house like once a week. You keep it tidy, right? It's maintenance. So treating your outside world good is amazing, but you also need to treat your inside world, right? You need to make sure that our inside world is being taken care of as well. Okay, so the solution to this is building that inner stability through our routines, through our practices. I'm a spiritual girly. This is a spiritual podcast. So of course we're angling this with a spiritual lens. But if you have stumbled across this because you do feel burnt out, you do feel disconnected, and you're not super spiritual, take this in a way that will make sense for you as well, okay? So maybe it is just spending some time alone versus all of the spiritual ways I will describe spending time alone, like take it in a way that makes sense for you. So having a spiritual routine really matters because it creates a sense of self-trust within yourself. When you have a routine or a practice of something that you do regularly, that is something that helps you, that keeps you connected, it allows your body and your mind to start trusting yourself, to know that no matter what happens, you will be there to take care of yourself. You have built that trust up within yourself to know that you will always have you. It keeps you feeling rooted. It keeps you feeling grounded. It keeps you feeling connected. So you never have this feeling of feeling just like lost. I know we all have felt that feeling so many times where we're just kind of like looking around and we're like, we don't know who we are anymore. We don't know what our beliefs are. Like, we're starting to question things. We don't know where we're going with our life. We just feel this sense of lostness. And having that sort of spiritual connection to yourself really does keep you grounded in a way where it's like, you never feel lost because you always feel at home within yourself. Even if there's question marks everywhere, even if you don't really know where you're going or what the path is, you still feel safe within yourself, that you know you've got somewhere, you've got someone, and no matter what, everything will be okay. Having that spiritual routine also helps you come back to center so much faster when you do get swayed off, right? Like, there's things that happen outside of our control. Maybe there's some like mad family drama. Maybe there's something that's happening at work. Maybe you get fired. Maybe your finances are like taking a massive dip for some reason. Like, there's all of these external things that can affect us and kind of like sway us out of alignment. And having that spiritual practice really down, really ingrained, will get us back to center so much faster. And then it also just sets like really good foundation for long-term growth. So like I mentioned, there's proactive self-care and then there's reactive self-care. And when I talk about proactive self-care, it's really restorative, right? It's keeping your energy elevated. It's keeping you in that good place. Reactive self-care is a form of soothing self-care, okay? So it's the self-care practices that you only go to when you need some sort of soothing, when you need to calm yourself down. It's the ones where you use them when you're feeling overwhelmed. Spiritual self-care is about putting yourself first through ritual and through discipline of these practices. Okay, so here are some spiritual practices you can use. This is going to be a really long list, you guys. So again, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Take what feels good for you and kind of pick and choose your own spiritual routine for yourself based on what your needs are, right? This is going to be, I've like written it all down. Like, there's a long list, okay? These are all of the things that I have in my spiritual toolbox. There's a specific amount that I do every single day that are non-negotiables that keep me at like a homeostasis level. And then there's other things that I do like on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, or on an ad hoc basis, right? So you really want to be looking at, what do I need on a daily basis to keep me feeling good, to keep me feeling centered? And then what are the other ways that I can add in here and there when something really big happens and I need a little bit more? Or like, there's some lunar cycle stuff on here. So like certain things with the full moon or the new moon, you know, like build up your spiritual library here, okay? And make yourself a routine that's really going to feel good for you. So the first thing are the daily rituals, right? Every morning and evening, reset the energy, whether that's a shower and you're cleansing yourself under the water when you wake up before you go to bed. It can be smudging your room. It can be playing a crystal sound bowl or some sort of frequency to cleanse the space. Reset the energy, because at the end of the day, you have interacted with so many people. You have so many different energies on you. You don't want to bring that into your sleep time. Clear yourself, go to bed with a clear energies palette. When you wake up, there's so many things that could have happened while you slept. Your subconscious is going through stuff. You could have been visiting the astrals. Like, there's, again, so many different energies that can come in. And so at first thing in the morning, you want a clear palette. You want to cleanse the energy. You want to come into the day from a neutral space feeling good. Other things are speaking to yourself with intention, okay? This is something, you guys, seriously, that has created the biggest difference. And it's a little bit of NLP in here too, which I've studied a little bit. Okay, so when you tell yourself that you should do something or you need to do something, it doesn't feel fun, okay? And then when you don't do it, you end up feeling really shitty. And so if you change that language from, oh, I should be doing this, oh, I need to do this, to I would benefit from this, or I deserve this, it actually shifts in your mind how you're thinking about that task. So one of my goals right now is to reach a certain step count per day. So instead of saying, oh, I should go walk on the treadmill right now, or like, oh, I need to go on a walk, like I need to get these steps, if I switch that to, I would benefit from going for a walk right now. Like my body would benefit, my health would benefit. Or I deserve to go on a walk. I deserve to move my body. That actually, and like I'm not even kidding, that has made me do it way more because it's like, you know what, I would benefit from this. You know what, I do deserve to do this. Fuck it, I'm going to go do it. It actually changes that narrative in your head so dramatically. When I first heard this, I thought it was bullshit. I'm not going to lie. I was like, there's no way that's going to work. But as I've been using it, it has been amazing. Okay. So just shifting that narrative around certain things like, oh, I need to wake up at 5 a.m. so I can go to the gym before work. No, I would benefit from waking up that early so I can go to the gym before work. I deserve to go to the gym before work. My body deserves to move before sitting at a desk for 8 hours a day. Like it just changes the whole energy of it. And I could do a whole other episode on like the energetics of words, but it's so much to go into. And it really just shifts from like, how would I benefit from this instead of I need to just do this? It plays a little trick on your brain almost of like, oh, I'm getting something out of it when I do it instead of just something that I have to do on a tick list. Another one that I really love, and it's something I learned recently, actually, it's another NLP thing, is instead of how can I do this, it's how could I do this? And it switches again in your brain. When you say, how can I do something? It's telling your brain that there's blocks there, right? It's like going analytical of like, how can I do this? When it's thinking of all the ways that it can't. It's like thinking of all the barriers and all of the different ways that it won't work. It's like, how can I find a way around these things, right? When you switch it to how could I do this, it puts your brain into a more creative state. So it's not a question of whether or not you can do something. It's what are the different ways in which I can do this, right? Like it's how could I do this? What are the different ways that this could happen? There is absolutely no thought of can or can't. Like, how could I do this? How could I do this? And it allows your brain to go into a more creative place of thinking where it's coming up with all of these different ways of how something could actually happen instead of bringing in the mental blocks of how can I surpass these blocks to get this done. So those are two different things that I have started implementing as one of my spiritual rituals. It's that self-talk. It's that shifting the narrative of how I see the things that I know that would benefit me from doing throughout the day. And it's kept me more accountable, right? Because taking the time for myself to do nervous system regulation, for example, I don't always want to make time to go sit for half an hour to do some structured breathing or put my legs up against a wall or whatever it is. But when I think about, okay, no, I deserve to do this, like I would benefit from doing this, I do it. And I'm going to do a whole episode again of all the things that have really changed my life during the seasonal depression era. And this is one of them. It has been absolutely mind-blowing, life-changing. Another practice, this is a daily thing for me, is grounding and energy clearing, okay? So I kind of touched on the energy clearing with the shower, how you can cleanse your energy with the water. But on a daily basis, whether this is earthing and going outside into nature and really connecting with the grass, hugging a tree, whatever it is, or it's the starseed grounding that I've mentioned before, where you're grounding up, you're connecting to your solar system, wherever it is you're from, or you're just visually meditating and seeing like the earth energy coming up through you, like any sort of meditation grounding. Every day, every single day, ground yourself, okay? When you ground upwards, you are grounding your own energy. You're coming back to center. When you're earthing or you're grounding down, like imagining the earth energy coming in or actually being outside earthing, you're recalibrating your energy to match earth. You're grounding to this earth's frequency, okay? So there are two different things, something that you need to be aware of. Earthing to the earth connects you to this earth's energy. Grounding up is grounding you within yourself, resetting your own energy back. And then when it comes to energy clearing, you guys, smudging your room, right? Like I mentioned before. So resetting for the day and energy clearing are like pretty similar, but smudging, listening to frequency sounds, sound healing, taking salt baths. Salt baths are a really good way, having some sort of spiritual bath. There's so many different ways you can do that. You can also use your crystals to clear and cleanse. And then also cleaning your physical space actually does clear stagnant energy. So at least once a week, like if you're not tidying your room at the end of every day, that's like you do you. I personally like to go to bed with like clear energy, but at least once a week, tidy and clean your room, okay? Organize everything, clear the surfaces, take out your vacuum, take out your broom, dust, whatever it is, like just clean it to clear all of that stagnant energy out. Okay, the next layer of this is your spiritual connection. So whether that means you're just meditating and connecting to your higher self, connecting into your inner world, whether that means journaling and connecting to yourself in that way, whether that means channeling and connecting to your guides, whatever it is, find some sort of way that you can spiritually connect to yourself. This can be creating rituals that feel really personal and meaningful to you. Maybe that's setting up an altar. Maybe that's doing oracle cards or pulling tarot cards. Whatever it is, anything that helps you feel spiritually connected to your guides, to your ancestors. I personally find that speaking light language is something that makes me feel very spiritually connected. So that's something that I do a lot. And it does obviously have very powerful activating and clearing and healing powers. So when I put it into my quantum jump meditations, or I put it into my new moon and full moon activations and clearings and all of that, it's for a very potent purpose. But just on my own, when I do my own meditations, I will sit and I will speak light language, because that to me, like, I'm connecting to my guides. I'm connecting to my spiritual self. I'm connecting to another version of myself, because light language is your soul's expression. So again, find the way that works for you. Find what works for you and make sure you do that on a regular basis. Okay, so another thing that you can add in are, like I mentioned before, working with the moon phases. So I'm sure if you're listening to this, most of you would already know about new moons and full moons and their powers, but I'm just going to say it again anyway. So the new moon is the start of a lunar cycle, okay? It's a new beginning. And new moons are the best time for manifestations. It's the best time for setting your intentions, for laying out what your goals are, for getting clear on that, right? And then in 2 weeks, there's a full moon. At that full moon, a lot of people think like, oh, full moon manifestations. No. The full moon shines the light on the ways in which you are being blocked from reaching those goals you set at the new moon. So it's really a time to look back on the past 2 weeks and say, how have I been working towards the goals I set, or towards the manifestations I'm calling in? What's not working? What are the blocks? Like maybe you have a certain routine or like some sort of way that you're marketing or some sort of way that you're doing something and it's not working. You're not getting the results you want from it. That in itself is a block. So it's like, okay, what is not working in the way that I'm trying to reach my goals, and how can I shift them? How can I clear them? Is it a mental block? Is it an actual physical block of the way that you're doing something? The full moon is to look back on all the ways that it's not working and you clear them. The full moon is about clearing them so that for the last 2 weeks of that lunar cycle, you can continue to move forward, working towards those goals, working towards those manifestations with a clear mind, removing all the blocks, and with a new pathway set in front of you. So again, these are like bi-weekly things that I do that really make such a big difference, because even if you want to look at it from not a spiritual lens, it's a way of goal setting and problem solving. Every 2 weeks, you set mini goals just for that month, for that 4-week lunar cycle, right? And then every 2 weeks, you're looking and being like, okay, how am I doing on these goals? How is my action plan coming along? What needs to change? So whether or not you want to get spiritual about it, you don't have to, but every month you're setting these new goals. And then 2 weeks after that, you're looking back and seeing what works, what doesn't, and making a plan to shift, essentially. It is so powerful because it does, in a way, keep you accountable to the things that you're working towards. And it allows you to look back, and instead of just blindly working towards these things, you're actually seeing what isn't working and what you can shift so that you can call in your manifestations faster. Because when you do the same thing over and over and over and over again and it's not working, something's got to change or you're never going to get to the place you're trying to go. And then the last layer of this is spiritual community and support. So if you have friends in your life that are also spiritual, maybe doing a new moon or a full moon ceremony with them every month can be a really fun ritual to help keep you feeling connected and not so alone on this spiritual journey, because I know it can get really lonely. And it'll also it'll also create a form of accountability to make sure that you're actually doing these things on a regular basis. Being in a spiritual community of any sort, whether it's just online, whether there's Reiki sharings or sound baths locally you can go to, whatever it is It also really does help with spiritual growth and development because we can get so lost on our own journey in this that we forget there's so many other things that we can be doing and we can be learning about. And we're just in this little tunnel or hole of our own, and meeting other people and speaking to other people and learning can actually open us up to A, so many more beautiful connections and opportunities, but B, so many more lessons and learnings and informations that can expand us in so many different ways. Okay, you guys, so quick summary of this episode. Spiritual discipline gives you self-trust and accountability. It allows your nervous system to feel safe within yourself. Doing that proactive self-care will keep you feeling soothed and regulated, and it'll keep your energy levels up so you don't get to the point where you feel crazy burnt out, or you feel super overwhelmed, or you feel like you just need a day to yourself or whatever it is, because you have been keeping up with that spiritual maintenance, with that energetic maintenance the whole time. Doing your daily rituals or your kind of like cycle rituals, like the full moon, new moon energy, actually do really, 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 I promise, help keep you feeling aligned and on path, okay? It really does. Like if you're ever feeling lost, if you're ever questioning whatever it is, staying in line with these rituals keep you feeling so on purpose. And I know purpose is like a big buzzword. I just want to remind you guys, like purpose is not what you do, it's how you do it. So if you're ever feeling like you don't know what your purpose is, these spiritual rituals and stuff and the grounding and all of it really does help you connect back to yourself and help connect you back to a way of living in alignment that you're naturally going to be living in your purpose. So that is all for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode and found it useful, found it helpful. If you have any questions, of course, as always, message me at iam.alexischristine on Instagram and TikTok. If you guys like this episode, please do share it with friends, share it to your story, give us a review, give us a rating, subscribe on YouTube, all of the things, because I just want to be able to help as many people as possible on this awakening journey as we navigate this 3D world together. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day, and I will talk to you soon.